Before getting into today's episode, we'd like to thank Mac Performance PT for sponsoring the Walk On Pod. For more on their services and contact information, click the link in our Instagram bio where you will be led to their website. Mac Performance PT, helping Sacramento athletes live life without limits. Thank you for tuning back into the Walk On Pod. It's been a theme. We got the KI Hoops catalog almost weekly at this point. So who else better to send this intro to than Mr. KI himself, Jared Waters? Go ahead, take it away, man.
Yeah, we feel really blessed. Based on test scores, this is the highest level player of the KICM. Our very own Alec Andrews, Folsom's very own. Al, there's a lot of things that we could say. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Al is played at Folsom High and was an amazing player there, and then moved on and played in college and did some great things in college, and now he's doing great things beyond basketball. So, Al, we're gonna kind of leave it to you. You can kind of pick it up wherever you want to start your basketball journey or life journey, and then don't take it too far back. We don't want to hear the B stories too much, but yeah. So you take it away. We'll give you the floor like we normally do, and then we'll kind of just go from there.
Sure thing. Yeah. I guess we'll throw it back to the high school days playing at Folsom. Really competitive team. Playing with Jordan Ford kind of elevated all of us, and we had a really deep squad, especially with like the class above us, guys that went off and played D1 football, D1 basketball. So set up for success there, and I was fortunate enough to be kind of part of that group. We ended up playing in the state championship game my sophomore year, losing to St. John Bosco. So we had won a section, we had won NorCal, kind of riding a high. Like that was, probably one of the most fun seasons you can have. We didn't win a state championship, but I mean, getting all the way there and getting to go play, at the Kings Arena so many times was a lot of fun. And then everything kind of changed from my like basketball world. That off season going to AAU, and I ended up getting hit as I come down shooting a three, hurt my knee. Had like a partial tear on my PCL and some tibial plateau fractures or micro fractures. So didn't need surgery, luckily, but that kind of put an end to my summer playing between the sophomore and junior year, which was rough, but I was able to get back by the next season. So just working to get back healthy. And then I got hit with the next kind of 1-2 punch. Got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes right around the time my knee was feeling better again. And so that was a huge hit, not only to like my life and like how I would have to operate with, eating and preparing for exercise, but, I remember we were actively trying to gain weight. We had these weight groups, and I had gained like 10 pounds. I was like 3 pounds away from what I needed to be. And then we went on a vacation for like a week. We got back. I had lost like 12, 15 pounds in that week. And my first thought wasn't like, oh, I have a disability. It was like, oh no, I'm not going to make my weight and my team's going to be upset at me. So that was a funny thing to think back to, but kind of weathered the storm with that, was able to play that full season, had another incredible run at the high school level, and won another section championship, went into the open division, ended up running into a really good Bishop O'Dowd team that ended that year, and they were really solid. I don't think we had much of a chance against them, and got to play our senior year without that class above us. I think we lost in the section championship. We went on to the open division, and then I'm not sure if that was the year. No, I guess we won an open division game the year before, but we played Sac High, I think the first round of the open NorCal playoffs. And
Wow.
that was a wild game.
That was a nuts game. Yeah.
But
Maybe the craziest high school game I've ever seen.
Yeah, even I know
would
about
agree.
that game.
Yeah.
that
Was the year you guys lost to Modesto Christian in the section and then got the 5 seed, and Sakai had the 4 seed, so you had to play at Sakai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a tough one, and Ford did everything he could, but we lost that one in OT. So that kind of ended the high school career, and had a few different options like throughout that time for what I would be doing after high school. But I think my experiences through high school and where I was like as a basketball player, it became pretty clear to me that I'd have better opportunities academically, especially with the schools that were talking to me. So was prioritizing D3 schools, which I guess actually makes me a walk-on as well because they don't have
Yeah, honorary. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
They didn't slide you one meal in the 4 years there.
I'm not allowed to speak on that. No, there's nothing going on. It was all financial aid or merit if they offer it, and I ended up being fortunate enough to get into Caltech, which was super rigorous academically. And once I got in there, it was kind of a no-brainer. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity um, to go there. And I knew I'd play right away just because of where I was coming out of, like the program I was coming out of from a high school level, where the program was. For people that don't know, Caltech basketball was historically bad. I mean, like ESPN segments about how bad they were. And they slowly started creeping up, making progress, winning games. They had really good class or team before I showed up, and then a strong senior class when I got there. So um, there was definitely like upwards momentum, and then kind of the 2 classes above me, players ended up fizzling out for different reasons, and by the time I was a sophomore, we had 1 senior and no juniors. So our team was just incredibly young, and we had a solid sophomore class, a solid freshman class, just not a lot of depth and not a lot of senior leadership or older guys, tougher guys, and that was a tough season. We won maybe 5 games that year, and coming off like a 5th place finish, I think, or 6th place finish in conference the year before. So after that, junior season, we were competitive for sure, but we still like having an empty class on a college team and being D3, especially at Caltech. It's not a school where you get transfers. Having that empty class, like it really is pronounced in your depth in how you operate. So one good thing was the younger guys got to play together a lot. So I got to play with the guys in the classes below me in my class. And we got a lot of run, even in that 5-win season that set us up for success down the road. And by my senior year, we got some good freshmen in at that point, and we had contributors from every class. It was the first time where I think we had 4 years of legitimate contributors and playing real minutes. And we ended up finishing 9-7 in conference, which was the first like winning conference record at Caltech in like 50 years. So it was a huge, and we ended it with a buzzer beater against our rival. Shout out to Marcus for hitting that shot. Awesome experience playing D3 basketball. Caltech was very hard academically, which kind of made basketball take a back seat, especially like during the summers. Like between my junior and senior year, I was in New Jersey, 1-bedroom Airbnb in some random basement, interning, for 3 months, and I'm out there with my wife. So like it was very difficult at times to get the work in that I was able to do when I was closer to home or working out with Jared. And that's just kind of how things went. Like it became very clear I'm not playing professional basketball. I'm playing basketball, and then I'll enter a profession. Um, Ended up studying computer science and business, and graduating in 2020, and joined a startup after that. Um, during the pandemic, so I was working remote at first. Eventually moved down to the Bay and lived down there for maybe a year and a half, and uh, we ended up moving back to our hometown, back to Folsom, and recently switched jobs. So now I'm working remote at a company called Whatnot and software engineering. So that's kind of where it all led me. And it's kind of funny, kind of full circle to be back here. I'm coaching now, assistant coaching for my old high school with my old high school coach, just to volunteer and kind of get back closer to the game. But wouldn't don't regret any piece of that, or stop along the trip. So
Yeah, that was cool. Cool trip down memory lane. I want to make sure because Luke talks about it all the time. Our guests, every time
Way
we
too
ask them
humble,
to talk
man.
talk about themselves, like it's crazy how no one ever really like gets on there. This is your time to get on your platform and shine, and
Because if
like
not,
Al,
we're gonna pump
Al,
your
you can let
tires.
him.
Like,
Al, you
yeah,
can
like
let him know how nice you were, bro.
yeah, like I will tell like one like if not the highest, one of the highest basketball IQ, definitely the best passer I ever trained. And like, you can tell me if I'm wrong, Al. Correct me. Most wins in Caltech history, most steals, most assists, most of his assists in a season, most best win most winning seasons or best season in history, right?
it's the wins are tough. I don't know. I know the class below me.
Spencer and them have probably like kind of
Yeah,
passed you on wins now,
yeah.
yeah. And
The class
Marcus,
below me, they definitely beat me
but
in
steals, assists,
steals. I was top 10. I don't know how high I was. I have all the assist records, game, season, career, and
yeah,
it was nice because I played with now the current points record holder, which was Marcus. So
yeah.
I'm very confident those assist records will stay a long time, just because
Marcus had a clip, yeah,
I got to play with the best scorer in Caltech history for 3 years. So that
yeah,
overlap was
yeah.
special.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I just that and also in high school, like, yeah, you really were a really integral part and made that engine go, man. Like, and you guys had a lot of other really good players and older players, and I feel like you played a huge role in all that.
Yeah.
So
I,
that stuff's really cool, and I think the other thing too is, um, before you say, I think that it doesn't get talked about enough how hard it was for you to transition with the diabetes, and like for people that don't understand, like literally having to like make sure you drink enough like Gatorade, this right amount of Gatorade before the game starts, or you literally can't start.
Mhm.
Like if you check your blood sugar and it's too low, I remember there'd be games that happened in the beginning when like you were trying to figure it out. Like you'd be at high school games, it'd be like warming up, drink my drink, and then check it. If it's too low, you'd have to sit and wait for the blood sugar to go up high enough to then check into the game.
Yeah, it was
Like
definitely tough.
that was like some of the toughest things I remember. And I remember the day when you found out that you had it. I remember like your mom called me and stuff and all that. So it's like, yeah, man, you're just not giving yourself enough credit.
not to mention, we just give the kid's a genius too. Like, we're not
Yeah,
even like
perfect score
obviously
on
the
the
talent.
ACT, perfect
Yeah,
score on
like
the SAT, perfect score on the SAT subject
Let him
test,
know, man. Let him know. Keep it coming.
valedictorian.
that's what I'm saying.
Nah,
Like,
all true except for the SAT. I struggled on that a bit, but
Yeah,
Struggled.
he missed
Your
100
struggle and
points.
my struggle might be a little different, brother.
uh,
Bro didn't carry the 4 and docked 50 points.
no, I've thought about it, just like reflecting, because yeah, basketball was that was like my life, and like I know you guys were very similar, especially in those high school years of like this is what I do, and like that's how I self-identified, was like I'm a basketball player, and I also work really hard, after practice in AP classes, and that was just like who I was. But um, yeah, I mean, I think I got a lot more playing time because of I knew where to be. I knew the spots I had to be in. Uh, And I was also like, this carried into college, like Luke or Tommy, you would have loved to play with me because I would have just gotten you the ball when you wanted it, where you wanted it. Like I know, like playing with Ford, I know like we need to get him the ball. Like the guys in the NBA, and other people, uh, I think play with players of that caliber and try to match it. Whereas I'm like, I'm just going to use it to my advantage and fill a role that no one's filling. I don't have to be the guy scoring 30 points a game because he's already doing that, if that makes sense. So,
yeah, no, that's huge. I think that's a big thing that we try to hit on and we talk about to a lot of people here is like being self-aware and like, you know, identifying your like who you are, and like that's like such a walk-on mentality, and like not to take anything away from the other things that you're great at, but like most people can't do that. Like I'd say 90-95% people aren't self-aware to do that.
mm, no, that's
And
fair.
and like we talk a lot about like what makes a successful college basketball player, and I think you hit it right on the head. And like you were talking about, you had the honor of playing with the best scorer in Caltech history. I'm sure I don't know him at all, and I'm sure he says the same thing. I had the honor of playing with the best passer in Caltech history, and so like knowing that you can step into that role and be that player to that caliber, like that says a lot about what type of player you were coming up to get to that point, if that makes sense.
For sure. For sure. And that's like passing, especially like, I think court vision and game, just like awareness, even on like the little actions of I'm coming off this screen, where am I looking? Like you're not looking at the first defender. Uh, which help guy are you watching? Like which rotation are you looking for? Just being ready for that. And then the skill part of can you execute that pass? Like some cross court pass where you have to jump and throw it over your head. Like, can you get that pass, or is it going to land at their ankles? They're not going to get a shot off. So, um, there's definitely like layers to it. And it's stuff that a lot of people, like especially at trainings, do not work on. A lot of training is with the ball in your hands to go score. Where a lot of the plays you make on a basketball court, even if you score 20 points, a lot of the plays you made were not to score. You swung the ball, you dribbled, you pushed the ball up court, whether by the pass or pushing it. And that's stuff that I feel like I focused on more than others. Like I would go to the gym and be throwing passes at a spot on
The
the wall.
cones.
I'd be
Cones.
throwing, yeah.
He would set up the little cones.
I'm chucking balls like
Yeah, I would be like at the shooting range, but like with cones and a basketball. And B would set up the little tiny cones that look like rip cones. He'd set them up. I would have to hit him down the line, like he was at the little Papa Shot at the fair, and then B would run and set him back up. For people that don't
He's
know,
doing the NBA
B,
skills challenge.
yeah.
At,
For people that don't know,
Cal Fit.
Big B is a legend in the 95630. His real name is Brian Andrews, but he's the freaking man. That's Big B. Shout out Big B.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Big B. He was definitely key. He taught me all the stuff that no one else was teaching us. So jump hooks and cone passing his bread and butter. It's what he made a living off of. So appreciate
Yeah, freaking Big B.
It worked. It worked.
Al, I did have another question about the Caltech stuff. For people that don't really understand or maybe haven't got enough information, like obviously D3s don't offer any athletic scholarships, so everyone is paying their way, or like you said, getting merit or academic. But I think the big difference that I saw, because I've trained a lot of kids that play D3, but I think the big difference I saw when you're at a place like Caltech, which is so prestigious and such like a academic driven school, like the kids don't go there because it's basketball. They go there to play basketball, but really they're there for the other stuff. Like explain the process of getting the internships in the summertime, because that was like super competitive.
Yeah.
Like and like just maybe speak on that a little bit, because I feel like that's like people don't understand, like, hey, like I have to go to practice, but then I also have to prep this interview for Google to make sure that I can get an internship 6 months from now, so that hopefully 3 years from now I get a job.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty wild thing. And coming into college, I didn't know much about it. And then you have people at Caltech, a lot of these students, they're so advanced. and it's nice because you get to learn from these people, but there's people doing internships after their freshman year, where like me as a computer science major, that was like the first time I took a coding class was my freshman year. I've never been exposed to this before in my life. So I'm nowhere near being able to contribute at an actual company. So after my freshman year, I was doing stuff more close to home, not as like legitimate of internships. I'd say more like IT work, I guess. And then after that, after my sophomore year, I think I had some more like tangible or practical skills that could be offered. And yeah, it's a pretty wild setup, at least I know from the CS side, when you're going for software engineering roles, like these interviews are very difficult. They follow this, like the questions that they ask follow these like data structures and algorithms that are very well known and taught in a lot of the classes that you take in college, but aren't necessarily used on a day-to-day. So it's more of your exposure to them and your conceptual understanding of how these work underneath. And oftentimes you'll have to do multiple interviews where you're like writing code on a whiteboard, basically, and they're poking holes in your solution, coming up with different edge cases of like, well, what if the input is an empty list? And you're like, well, my program explodes. So different things like that. And yeah, it's really tough. Like, I think if I was playing basketball at a school where that wasn't on my mind and basketball was my, priority, I wouldn't be worried about that. Like the summers would be times where I'm just trying to get better, like physically and skill wise, but it really became competitive. Like early in the year, you have all these students, you have Google, you have Facebook coming onto the campus to do interviews. And you want to be as ready as you can for those, but you also have practice, you also might have a game. So like the trade-offs there, when you have a Google interview but you play a D3 basketball game, like you just end up studying for the interview naturally, I think. And like you said, a lot of people don't go there to play basketball, and a lot of that is like the recruiting process. Like they aren't able to get athletes in. Like a lot of schools can just kind of get the people that they want on the athletic teams through admissions, or at least help them. It's really tough, I think, to help people through. And we've had classes where they recruited like 30 plus players, high schoolers, and none got in, and it's just an empty class. And there's nothing you can do about it, really. And you're not going to get any transfers, to fill those gaps. So definitely a really interesting place to be. And academics were definitely the focus. So it was, when I got there, my biggest thing was, hey, we're already here. We're already going to come to the gym in the off season. We're all going to show up at the gym. Let's actually get better. Like, let's actually go really hard. I think when I first got there, was a lot of lack of discipline, especially in our practices. And a lot of people just didn't really care. And there was no reason for them to care. They could quit at any moment and they wouldn't miss it. They would actually be happy to get 25, 30 hours of their week back, so they could maybe sleep or get their homework done or go to class rather than watch the video of the lecture on 2 times speed while they're making dinner. Like, so we and there was a lot of back and forth with that. And I became a captain by my sophomore year. And I think we started instilling this like discipline, which probably comes from Folsom and how kind of things operated there. And slowly, I think year after year of just more players that were legit hoopers, buying in. And even if we have, even if you went to bed at 3 a.m. and, we have a 9 a.m. walkthrough, like focusing for that hour, it means a lot, because it's really easy to just check out, I think, when the stakes aren't that high.
I remember the first time I came down there, I had to jump into practice. You guys didn't have enough people.
No way.
Yeah,
that sounds like a violation, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
That can't be legal, bro.
No, I literally like I walked in. Well, it was my first time down there. Other than then the one time we went and checked it out before he chose to go there. And I walk in, I say what's up to coach, and I was like, me and Al are kind of just working out. Actually, we were working on the side hoop, doing some shooting stuff and warming up. And then like 15 minutes into practice, the head coach Doc comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, like you think you could lace up and jump in? We need an extra body." And I was literally in there running sets and running defensive rotations. I was like, "Man, this feels good." This is when I was
Bro,
still like,
what?
moving
Why
a
have I
little bit.
never heard this?
How are you
Yeah.
doing, by the way? Like, were you
Yeah.
playing well? Like, actually, no, you don't answer that. Al, how was he doing
Alec,
if you
yeah.
remember?
Al probably doesn't remember.
No, I think Jared, even in his older state, could do very well at the D3 level.
Yeah, I had
So-
my man Michael Wee was out there trying to check me.
See, the fact that you remember the exact like
Yeah,
matchup.
I would be laughing.
I was cooking him.
Laughing if Jared's like running a set and just like breaks off and takes a crazy shot. Everyone's probably, what the hell is this guy
No,
doing?
it definitely was.
No,
like,
this is still, I guess,
Still in, I mean,
I was still in it, but this is
Yeah.
when I was definitely in retirement mode where like Luke and Tom can attest to it and Al a little bit, but like retirement mode means I'm lighting people up, I'm setting screens, and I'm slipping. That's it.
Yeah.
that's so sick. Actually,
I'm trying to, it's yeah. So no, I remember that. That was, and it wasn't anything where it was like nobody got hurt. There wasn't any. It was just like we don't have enough guys to. We don't have enough guys to play.
we had
We
Can't
need
be
someone.
legal. Literally can't be legal.
yeah, we couldn't go fives a lot of the time that sophomore year, which was
Yeah.
tough. So
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah, it was yeah, that was a crazy time. But I also think the other thing too, Al, just like looking at it from an outside perspective, like you said, you had some real hoopers coming up. I feel like with all those other things and all that other pressure, I feel like that's why you guys did well. Like it sounds corny, but like you guys really like, cream rose to the top, right? It's like we have all these things that distract us and it's easy to check out, but like the dudes that really loved hoop, like really just stuck it out. And then you guys end up being successful because like as many distractions and other things and like not say, I guess more important things from the grand scheme of like being at Caltech, like an interview with Google is way more important than beating Laverne, right? In the grand scheme of things. But like you had enough real hoopers and guys that loved the game and had the passion that like they could just do both.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you guys are so successful and why it will be hard to replicate that like again, because I think it's just you don't find people like that very often.
Yeah. And to have, like I said, by my senior year, 4 consecutive classes, of legitimate people that probably could have played at a higher level, but were, academic focused and wanted to win. That buy-in was huge. And we ended up having, a lot of guys that could actually compete and have a good team, at the D3 level. So
yeah,
was fortunate.
I think another thing too, like, and we've talked about this before also, but like you talk about, you were a captain by your sophomore year and you brought kind of the discipline that you knew growing up and everything. But I think like we've talked about it, it's hard to win games, like let alone like have winning seasons and all this. It's hard to win games in college at any level. I don't care. All of us can sit here and say the same thing. But you, and like I'm going to throw it back even further. I met Al when I was in 4th grade and he was on the 5th grade force team. From the moment I've met Al, like he was on winning teams his whole life. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember losing to you as a 6th grader when you were on the Sutter Middle School team. Like,
yeah,
these like winning was something that you just knew. So I feel like it was going to be inevitable. Like you talk about the discipline and stuff, but I think it's more just like you knew how to win, no matter what it was. So I don't know if, that translates all the time, but I think it's more kind of just the yearning to want to win more than like, okay, this is what I know we're supposed to be doing. It's more just in the product.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. It was kind of a culture shock when I got to Caltech. We lost our first 8 games, and I went home for Christmas break, and I was not happy.
I remember.
And I got to go watch at Vista. I went to Vista, got to watch Folsom. I think they played Vista, and Ford was there. I remember telling him that we were 0-8, and he's at St. Mary's doing well, and he just couldn't believe it. He was like, "How do you not win a game?" And I was like, "I don't know." And we were very close a lot of these games, but
I don't think you lost much more than 8 games in your entire high school career.
I think I was around 8
Yeah.
my varsity time.
Yeah.
My sophomore year,
You guys went 34-2, right? I think that year.
3 losses on the year, but 2 of them I didn't play, so I wasn't counting those on my resume.
Ow, we lost.
Yeah, so that's where I was. But I think like kind of what we had talked about previously, like the willingness to do things that others like don't want to do. Um, I didn't need to shoot 10 threes a game to feel like I was a contributor. I didn't need to score 20 points to feel like I was the man. Like I was going to try to do what gave us the best chance to win it every time down the court. And as time progressed, and as I started playing with really good scores, actually that ended up being, hey, I'm going to try to find these guys with the ball as much as I can, and just make plays. I guess make winning plays consistently. And eventually, through the years, I mean, we had that first season we start 0-8, then we have 5 wins the next season. We started figuring out and learning how to win. I think it's a process, especially when you're changing the culture or the identity of a college team. So you have to take your lumps sometimes, and you're going to get how do you protect a 15-point lead? You can't just stop playing basketball and start trying to run the clock out. Like there's still a shot clock and you still have to play. And there were plenty of moments where we, blew leads late. And by our senior year, it was like, if we're up 3 and there's a minute left, like this game's over. We had that confidence because we had learned how to do it. We had done it. We had seen it. And then we believed it. Right.
Yeah.
That resonates. Believe me, that resonates.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Al, now that you're in the coaching realm, what's like the number one thing that you took from your college years? Let's just focus on your college years. The number one thing you've taken from your college years that you're trying to instill in this new generation TikTok, IG hoop life that we all have to suffer, sadly, me especially more than others.
Yeah, it's been wild to be on the other side of it. I'd say the biggest thing that I've seen is like kids don't really understand the game. They understand having the ball and trying to go score, but they don't understand how the game is played. And I think that was something, I had a decent pulse on in high school, and then I remember going into college and playing pickup. We had a good senior class. One of the seniors, our captain Ricky, I remember playing pickup against him, and I'm just getting hit on back screens just repeatedly. And eventually we start switching him, and now he's posting me up immediately, and I'm just like, dude, chill out. Like it's not that serious. And he's just literally busting my ass. Like I remember the early times. I eventually start hacking him, as I am trained to do when I'm getting my. So that was like a wake up call for me of like, if my guy doesn't have the ball, like, the game's still going on. Or like Ricky wants the ball, he's gonna go set a screen to get the ball. And like figuring that out and moving off the ball or setting screens for guys to get yourself open at the high school level now, I just don't see players understanding that as much. It's very rare to see guys moving off the basketball efficiently, creating lanes. I'm sure, I've watched a fair amount of Luke play. This is something that I feel like he does well, of like, you have to create an angle for someone to pass you the ball. Just because you're open does not mean you will get the ball. So like moving to the right spots and understanding that is not something I see very often on the court. It's a lot of take the ball and dribble. And if I run into 3 guys, let's hope I get fouled. But if not, I'll go score a layup. So I'm hoping to get them to be a little bit more unselfish, realize that cutting off the ball actually will increase their chances of scoring. So
sounds like we got to pull up the Alec Andrews highlights.
Oh man, those were. I
Is,
have them. I have. They're right here.
I know exactly where they are. Believe me, I know exactly where they are.
I have them.
Oh man.
So look, man. Like This is cool.
Yes.
All the serious
Yes,
stuff,
yes, yes,
great
yes,
stuff.
yes,
No, I
yes,
got
yes,
two.
yes.
I got two
come
parts.
on,
of this.
man.
I got
Yeah,
two parts of
yeah.
this. I got two parts of this. So Al, obviously you and Jared,
I'm gonna put
great
my
relationship.
back there.
Great relationship. The first part of this question,
Uh,
because I'm surprised it hasn't been mentioned, and if it's not supposed to be mentioned, I will edit it out. But Tuck team.
oh man,
Talk about it, Al.
Tuck
man,
team. Let's talk.
let's talk. So you have to think about where we were in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
You've got the shift teams of the world. You've got the drift teams, the blend teams. These are really crafty basketball players. For anyone that's watched me play on the court, it's not flashy. There's not a lot of drifting or shifting going on. And honestly, I feel like this is something, I don't know if you guys, I don't have this, because maybe this is something weird with me. I remember my wife played high school basketball, and I remember I would have conversations where she was like doing her makeup before the game. And I'm like, why do you do that? Like, you're just going to sweat. And she's like, well, if you score on a girl and you're prettier than her, it like hurts more for them.
Shout out Tori, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's awesome.
We're
Good line.
clipping that.
She's like, everyone does this. She's like, everyone knows this. Like, if you get scored on a girl and she has nice lashes, like that's a double whammy. I'm like, that's cool. So I took it like differently, the kind of the opposite aspect. And I was like, if I score on a guy and I look like a dork, that's a double whammy, because they're like, we just gave a bucket up to him. There was a time in college where I got popped right above my eye with an elbow, and I had stitches. And me, tough guy, I'm gonna play. So next game, they're like, we got to protect these stitches. So they put like a pad over the injury with like the old like NBA headband. But I also had some funkiness going on with my hair. So I had like the soccer headband like pulling my hair back too. So I had like both of these like
Can we
double.
get the picture of this, please?
Yeah, I was gonna say there has to be a picture of this.
There's a picture somewhere, but it's not a good look. But when you look that ugly, legitimately, you play with so much freedom. You just do not care.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
such a good point.
what can someone tell you when you're like, dude, I did this to myself? Like, I saw myself in the mirror pregame. What can you tell me? It hurts differently if you're like, oh, I look good. I like these shoes. And then they're like, yo, those shoes are whack. Like, that hurts. But if you wear whack shoes and you know it and they say it, you're like, I know. It's a different mind game. So that's kind of where Tuck Team came out of. It's being extra corny, extra dorky, and just not caring. Because that not caring aspect is what gets them.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wore short socks. I wore short socks.
We get
my whole
buckets
senior
with
year.
class. That was the tagline. We
Yeah,
get buckets with
so the
class.
tuck has to do with the tuck in the jersey.
Tuck in the jersey, and we
At
stay
all
tucked.
times.
Good crease.
Jersey,
Like,
T-shirt while you're working out. I don't care. It could be your sweatshirt at school. It better be under the belt loop, is all I'm saying. Like, we need it. The waistline's got to be showing.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to do this.
Al,
I'm
were you a
glad-
short socks guy too, or no?
Short
No,
socks.
Al had the soccer socks.
yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say
that's
I
a
do
good.
remember
That's
that.
a good one too.
I went the other direction because of
Okay.
the spot tan, or just extra whiteness. I don't really tan, just more pale.
Fair. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a really good look, because getting bucketed with a guy with ankle socks, you're just like, wow.
See, Al, I
he's
was
super
on that
white,
wave.
yeah.
I was on that wave my senior year. I wore straight ankle socks because I knew it was gonna piss people off when I was giving them buckets and ankle socks.
Exactly. You know how this goes. You were a great Tuck Team candidate. You should have.
This
Yeah,
was
I was
Al's,
just a
Al's
few
senior
years too
night.
late.
I tucked in my
Is that a
quarter
Q
zip.
Oh,
That's a quarter zip.
That's class. That's class.
We have a. Never mind. He just watched.
That's class. Now, so the next part of my question,
This is the
this,
worst
I
part.
think that was a good intro to, like, obviously you and Jared have a really good relationship, and and I've been around you two. Can't even, like, for years, honestly, and it's always funny to be around you two. So I want to ask everybody this. I want your best Jared story that you got.
Oh, easy.
Oh my
Let's
god!
go. Let's go.
I know where he's
But
going.
I also kind of want Jared's favorite Al story because I've heard funny ones on both sides. So like,
Yo, so Jared lived with my family for a period, and we got to hang out. We worked out religiously, even when I didn't want to go. He would drag me to the gym. So then I would force him to play FIFA with me because I had no one to play with. My sister was not about to hop on the sticks. Um, and we were pretty comparable skill level. Like think I had an edge, but it
Al
wasn't
had definitely had an edge. I'll clear the air. Al was definitely good and better.
But what ended up happening was some of just the craziest FIFA cheese you can imagine. I can admit this. I was the beneficiary of a lot of these scenarios, but I mean, guys would just flip 3 times and like the back of their head would just hit the ball and roll in the goal. And we'd go to instant replay, and Jared would just get so frustrated at these instances. It happened every game, at least once. At
Yeah.
least not one.
It was like it was happening on purpose.
It eventually got to a point where he just like couldn't take it. I forget what had happened. I know what pissed him off the most is I would try to rationalize it and just be like, dude, I got time of possession. Like it's more chance for some craziness to happen to help me. Like, shots on goal. And he's just like, dude, shut up. I don't want you to rationally explain to me why this guy just 360 like flew in the air and somehow his goalie is like on the other side of the field for no reason. And,
it was some bad shit. FIFA 14 really that really made me question my life a lot of times.
I don't know what the goal was, but something happened. And
oh
it was
no.
some cheddar. And I think he threw the controller down, which is, I'll say, I know you guys talked about your pet peeves, I think on the last episode. Throwing the controller is a wild move because you know you're going to need it to play again. And you're just going to break it. But he throws the controller down. I think like the L2 button just like pops off, and he grabs his phone and like chucks it at the carpet. So he's thinking with his brain, he's like, oh, I'll throw it at the carpet. Don't want to break it on the tile. But he threw it so hard, it bounced off the carpet like a trampoline. This thing went like hit the ceiling and then slammed down on the tile, just shattered. I do the good guy thing, hit pause on the game, realize his controller's busted. He walks over, grabs his phone, just nothing. You got no pixels, man. There's nothing here. And he's just like, well, I gotta go get my phone fixed. And we didn't play. We didn't play for a while after that one. He was out, I think, at least $100.
This is about I bought a new controller. Yeah, because we didn't have a sprint button anymore.
Yeah, that was it. He was walking around after that, and it was more frustrating to play.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's good, dude.
That's a great.
That might be the
that's a
best
great
ever
addition.
story, dude.
I remember that. It was vicious. Oh man. Because what would really happen, the short version is I was better. I can admit it. I was better than I was at the game. But I'd be playing really well, and I would be up like 2-1, or I'd be up like 3-2, and I'd be like, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna get another win. And then the flukiest stuff would happen, and like with 15 minutes left or 7 or extra time, and and then he'd score a goal in extra time. Then we'd go to overtime, and then I would lose because I was mentally incapable of playing still. I would it was, oh man, those were some rough days.
That was a low point.
Al was a good sport to put up with me, though. Al was a good sport.
I had no other options, man.
I mean, you live with him, so it's like,
yeah. Oh man, I knew that was gonna go there. That's why I didn't want that to happen.
That's great. I'm glad I did that, man.
That's really good, dude.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, no, that was.
Some things never change, Jared.
Yeah, some things.
All right,
yeah,
fellas.
I have one favorite. My favorite Al story is that Al was so smart. And I'm gonna make this. Al was so smart that the fact that not statistically and scientifically making every single jump shot was not reasonable. His brain would have a glitch, and like he would like get to a point where like he would stop shooting and he would stand in front of the wall and he would shoot the ball straight up off the ceiling at 24-hour fitness. And then what ended up happening is that he would go to practice because Wall would tell me this and he would get so mad at him and Brian would get mad. This guy, while Wall would be like, because the practices, there's a lot of talking at the Folsom practices. I would be sitting on the sideline, form shooting straight up in the air. And he was snapping his wrist so hard, he actually got a cyst on his wrist from shot forming too much, and he had to get it removed.
No.
I had tendonitis. I didn't have a cyst. I don't know what he's saying. I gave myself wrist tendonitis for sure, and the worst one was I gave myself blood blisters on my fingers from snapping through the ball, like
too hard,
incredibly hard.
Yeah, elbow problems, all that.
I remember being at a tournament and I was asking, I think Josiah was there, and like one of our coaches, I was like, "Yo, does it hurt like when you shoot the ball?" And they just like grab the ball, like, "No, feels normal." I'm like, "Yo, this hurts," but I put that on myself. So
now we get why he didn't want to shoot. That's why he's a passer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It hurt to shoot the ball.
It hurt too much.
Side note, before we move on, we're going to starting five. Al's wife, Tori was an amazing hooper. She got buckets. She was nice. I used to train Tori too, and she was nice.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what it feels like to like come home from college and play your girlfriend in horse and she just like smokes you? Like she's not even playing. She hasn't touched a ball in over a year, and you're just like, let's play. I just had practice 3 days ago. It's so frustrating to be working at something and being like not where you want to be, and then someone just picks up a ball and is like, hey, this is easy. So that was always tough. But yeah, she would smoke me in horse any day.
Yeah, she was nice. Tori was nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Now, fellas, starting five. Let's get into it. So, there was a good amount of, tech talk and all this. So we have starting five apps / websites / technology. Jared, is what you're.
Or tech companies like
tech companies. There we go. So basically, just an all-encompassing technology starting five here, centered around the phone that Jared threw off the floor. Now. We had some pregame chat with Al about how he wanted to do this. Are we still locked in on the snake draft, Al?
I think it's most fair. I mean, there's some big hitters in here, and you don't want everyone to snatch those.
Can I get the stats from last week?
Yeah, I can pull them up real quick.
Instead of me saying that I won, can I just get the stats?
There's winners?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a vote. Come on, man.
He's telling on himself.
The Tommy Army, really, most weeks.
The faithful.
Here he goes.
Nah, it's the faithful, man. It's the faithful. All right, let's
Jared
see.
talking out of his ass out just because he always loses to me because his lists are trash.
All right, so speaking of getting beat by your girlfriend, Kaylin won.
What in the?
Kaylin won.
So there's
we had two Guy Fieri shows.
So there's actually some rumors. There's some rumors going around about that. If I'm not mistaken.
I told you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put her business out there, but let's just say she has access to multiple accounts and they all voted. I'll just put it that way. But it's a heady play out of her.
How many did she win? How many did she win by?
She barely won. She squeaked by.
Yeah.
Oh man, I call tampering.
So who's the real winner then?
It was me.
I don't think
I came in second.
I knew I was going to.
You came in last.
So,
you came in last
I figured.
for the
I knew
TV
I
shows.
did. Yeah.
And then I won the walk on. So I mean, it's just overcoming adversity at its finest.
Yeah, that's fine. But Al can go first because Al's the guest. So Al, you can go first. You can throw us your point guard. Give us a good reason why he's your point guard, and then we'll go from there.
Why'd you say he? Because
she. Sorry.
Yeah, it could be.
Don't start the pronoun conversation. All right, you don't want to get me on a soapbox.
You don't know which apps. You don't know which app.
This has nothing to do with pronouns, Jared. It's an app.
Yeah, man.
So we have to start with PG. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
We probably should.
Okay.
You are a PG.
Yeah, no, that's really fair. I'm gonna go for a do-it-all guy. I'm gonna go for this one is a guy. I know that. I'm drafting him, but we're going with YouTube here. Entertainment.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I mean, the amount of content that YouTube's pumping out on a daily, like you just have it at your fingertips. You just pull up a video from 15 years ago of Jared Waters playing D2 basketball and pro hopping by a 6'7" post. Like the ability to do that with
It's awesome.
Yeah.
that's pretty incredible. So yeah, we'll take YouTube and we're happy about it.
It's a big time first pick.
All
All
right,
right. Who do you want to go second, man?
You can pick out who you want to
You
go
can pick the
second.
order.
Jared needs this second pick. We'll go with Tommy third, and since Luke seems to have been killing these starting fives, I'll give him the turnaround there.
Here we go.
All right. I'll take it.
All right, so at my point guard, we talk about this a lot. My point guard needs to be the leader of my team. He needs to be able to really like take us to where we want to go. Where do we want to go? We want to go to the championship. We want to win a title. Okay. Anytime I'm going anywhere, my destination, that's my championship. So at point guard, give me the Maps app.
Okay.
Because
It's a really good take.
you
I like
guys
that.
are very, very young. And before there was iPhones and Maps apps, Google Waze, all that stuff, you had to go on a computer, dial up, go to mapquest.com,
I
type
remember
in your
the
starting
MapQuest
point,
days.
type in your destination, print it out, and then put it in your front seat. Now, heaven forbid you miss a turn because you will not end up where you're supposed to go, and you'll have no idea where you messed up.
That's a good
MapQuest
explanation, Jared.
Jared,
Alec, you remember the Chico tournament the Folsom Force used to visit?
all the time.
I remember the MapQuest for the Chico tournament vividly. I was sitting there. I was the MapQuest guy. I
You were the
remember
guy.
that. Yeah, that
That's
was good, man.
What were we gonna
That's
say? Al?
awesome.
I need a distinction. Are you going Apple Maps?
So I'm an
Google.
Apple Maps guy.
Yeah.
I don't love
Yeah.
it, but like Google Maps, I just haven't committed to yet. Waze, I don't care about Waze, other than they have Cookie Monster as the voice. That's hilarious.
Okay, fair.
Didn't know that, but that's a good piece. You did your
Yeah, they
research. You looked into your players. That's big time.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, James.
Yeah, moving on. Looking at our draft board here, there's a couple guys that strike my eye, but
Always got the mechanical pencil.
What?
there's one in particular, fellas, that I want on my roster with my point guard due to the creativity behind this app, this website. Recently just made a change for the worse, and it's unfortunate that happened. But we're gonna take the old version of it. Give me Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it's the best version of social media.
Funny, hilarious app.
It's hilarious. It's got all you need on there. Give me Twitter at the one.
I'm never gonna call it X. Can I just say that now?
Yeah,
I'm
neither
never
am I.
ever gonna call it
It's
that.
Twitter.
I'm gonna call it Twitter.
Yeah, it's Twitter. Give me Twitter at the one.
Are they tweets still? Because I call them tweets, but are you supposed to call them X's or
I don't
something?
know. I don't know.
That's
that,
a great
honestly.
question. Maybe you should hit Elon.
Yeah.
I'll see if I know a guy, but that's a good pick. I avoided them due to the crossover. I didn't want that kind of negativity, but that's a great pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spoken like a real GM over there. All right, my point guard. We talked a lot about being a point guard on our team, and like Jared said, your point guard is going to lead you to your destination. My point guard, their motor is going to be what drives my team. Whatever mood, whatever energy, whatever persona my point guard brings is what I expect my team to follow. And every morning, when I wake up and I want to see what type of day it's going to be, I check the weather app. So give me the weather app.
Wow.
That's
Weather
my
app.
point guard.
No,
That's a
that's
consistent. That's a
That's
consistent
big.
guy. That's an everyday guy right there.
It's a guy you can count on every day to give me what I need to know.
That's
you want
coming
guys
from a
that,
guy that spends 75% of his day inside at a gym.
Yeah,
but
we
you want
still
guys.
know.
You want
We
guys
still
that do
know.
their job. You want guys that do their job, and the weather app's going to do it.
And they know their job, more importantly. So
So
give me the weather
that'd
app.
be a good walk on, I feel like.
We'll get there. My shooting guard, and so it's a thing. My shooting guard is a scorer, and let me tell you, my shooting guard is a gamer. This is my game selection. I put one game in here. You want to talk about a game that has longevity, a game that has stuck around for years, has withstood every update it possibly could, and it's still here. Give me Clash of Clans at the shooting guard.
Man, that's such a good pick.
You want to
He
talk
was
dominance?
high on my draft board, man.
I'm see. This is why my draft position. I'm glad Al gave me this spot because I knew he was going to be a highly coveted scorer, and we need him. I
Nothing
need
like that
Clash of
barbarian.
Clans. And good times, man. But back to you, James. Back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I've got him. Let me lock back in here. At my 2, we're gonna need a knockdown shooter. Um, Al talked about playing with great scorers, great shooters. This is an app that it's simply gonna knock down the shot when it's required to knock down the shot, and that's why I've got Cash App at the 2.
Ooh, I
Um,
like that. That's a good one.
Wow.
we
There
could
you
go
go.
with Venmo here, but Venmo doesn't have the name behind it. Okay, that's why Venmo got cut. Cash App at the 2. Cash App's going to knock down everything I need, and quite frankly, it's going to be a guy we can rely on.
Yeah, I like that. Well said. Well said.
Shooting guard. In similar fashion, Tom, I need someone that can score. I need a real hitter on my squad. And all this app does is supply hits.
No, don't.
Hit after hit after hit. And you know what? As I'm going to my destination, what do I need?
Oh,
I need
no.
a soundtrack. I need some music, man. And the reality is that music is the soundtrack of life. So at my shooting guard, give me Spotify.
Oh, I got sniped so hard.
Yeah, I mean, I did
So
too.
tough.
Spotify at
Sorry.
the 2.
I got
That's
backup
so
stuff
tough.
right here.
That's a great pick. I mean, a volume score, like just
Yeah,
hours. You can in the background too. Like they're moving off the ball, which is crazy because you're doing other stuff and they're still producing. Wow. I didn't see that coming from Jared, but his scouting department clearly had this class well researched. All right, well, we're gonna match it. We need someone with a lot of output here. We need someone who gets it done fast, gets it done consistently. I want a volume score basically. I want someone who's churning out points. I can't have any dry spells. So we're gonna go with Amazon here.
yeah.
Wow, great
Yeah.
pick. Oh,
Insane.
you're going a different direction there for a second.
Insane delivery. There's no other company that can do what they do if you think about it. Prime.
Special.
A Prime delivery is something
It's a
different.
special talent for sure.
We'll go with them at the 2. At the 3 here, it's tough. You want someone to play their role. At my 3, I want someone who's really going to defend, knock down shots when they have to, if that makes sense. So they're not going to be necessarily a go-to guy. We're going to do it. We're going to go to the Notes app. We're going to go.
What
Wow.
a great pick.
What a
Oh,
play.
man.
I
God,
mean,
Alec.
I'm using Notes consistently.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just
Using
need to write
notes
something
right now.
down.
That's my fate, man.
Yeah.
My notes app is like high level. That's like so much data. Whew.
I liken it to the vanilla flavor of ice cream, where
I wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying, I'm a big fan of the vanilla bean, and
But dairy-free ice cream, though, for you right now.
correct. We will put that in there. But yeah, they're gonna do their job at the 3. I think.
It's a good pick, man. It's a really good pick. I'm liking the roster you're building.
Yeah.
Small forward, I need utility. I need someone that is going to, play different roles in different games and different matchups, different playoff series. Because we're trying to get to the championship. That's my destination. The maps are going to take me there. Spotify is going to make it sound good. And this app is going to give me a little variation if I need to pivot. So at the small forward, give me ESPN app. Gives me all the sports knowledge and utility I need.
Okay. I like that.
Well said. Well said.
Good pick.
Yeah. Approaching our my 3 here. We want a young star, and this guy's built some longevity. But there was a time when he was up and coming, and people didn't know if he was going to make it out because it lived in the shadow of another app. That app got selected already, and that's why we're going with the protege of Clash of Clans. We're going with Clash Royale at the 3.
Wow.
Clash Royale is an app that, people might have thought it wouldn't have succeeded because of how good Clash of Clans was. But lo and behold, here we are in 2023, and I'm still on that app. I'm still grinding my trophies. Clash Royale,
Never
good,
played.
good
Never
reliable
played.
guy
I
there.
missed that one.
Jared, you would like it. Jared,
I
you
was
would
a
like
Boom
it.
Beach guy.
Yeah, Boom Beach doesn't
Yeah,
quite.
Boom Beach definitely fizzled out. I can admit
Yeah, it
that.
doesn't produce what Clash Royale produces.
I feel like Jared was a balloons tower defense type of
He
guy.
was definitely a BTD 5.
I don't know what that is, actually.
That surprises me.
I
That's
still play
tragic.
solitaire, though.
Words.
That's good, man. That's good. My small forward. One thing about my team is I feel like they're all students of the game. And my small forward leads that charge. This is a very personal pick of mine. This is one that I don't know if it's gonna resonate with the public as much, but people who know, they know. If you're one of them ones, you get it. I got Synergy at the 3. Synergy is where I find myself wasting a lot of
That's
time
a good pick.
watching film.
Checking
For those
stats.
just doing all the dirty work. Checking stats, very relevant right now. But there's a lot of information in there. When you really dive into, like, I'm a numbers guy, and you can dive into every little statistic that you can find in the game of basketball on the Synergy app or on the website, whichever way you want to view it. And it's entertaining to me. And like I said, I want my team to be students of the game, and this is how they do it, through the Synergy app. Now my 4. My 4 is dominance. My 4, it stepped out on the scene as someone that was entering a territory that you thought there was already a front runner. You already thought there was a thoroughbred in their department. But you want to talk about something that changed the world. We're talking about Uber. We're talking about Uber here because the taxi service is just not the same anymore. People don't call a cab anymore. You get an Uber, and it's a term. It's not even an app anymore. It's the term, call an Uber. You might not even use the Uber app. You're gonna say call an Uber. I have to have him on my squad. I have to. So give me Uber at the 4.
I have
like
a grind
that a
my
lot from
gears
you.
on that, but I'll save it for a different time.
Why?
It's a verb too. Like it's a noun and a verb. Like
I'm Ubering.
I'm Ubering too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I'm not. That's why I wanted to. They came to tryouts, but they have some underlying like legal issues that's making it tough for me to sign them to a full long-term deal. So
for rules is what I'm
It's
hearing.
unfortunate.
yeah,
It's unfortunate. My 4, it's a guy. It's a guy that we might have forgotten about. And that's unfortunate to me. I know this won't be relevant to Jared, but I hope this resonates with Luke and Alec here.
ageism.
Age for sure. Unfortunately, Jared, you weren't young when this was popping. I've got to give it out to the late great Club Penguin. Rest in peace to Club Penguin.
I have no
Give me
freaking clue what that is.
clubpenguin.com.
Oh,
Clubpenguin.com.
wow, crazy.
Clubpenguin.com. Actually,
What is? Can you explain that to me? What it is?
So Jared, let me walk you through what Club Penguin was. Are you familiar with The Sims?
Yes.
Okay, so Club Penguin. I guess The Sims might have been a bad comparison. Yeah, let's forget about The Sims comparison. Throw away The Sims. Club Penguin was a website where you could essentially use a penguin as your online alias. Okay, Jared, and it had a whole map you could explore. It had things for you to do. It had clubs you could party in, pizzas you could make pizzas in, pizzerias you could make pizzas in. I mean, it had it all. You had the pets, the puffles. I know you guys remember the puffles if you played Club Penguin. Now, you guys haven't said anything. Were you guys not on Club Penguin? I'm getting a little nervous here.
I wasn't on it. I'll be
I
honest.
was not a big Club Penguiner. I do know that its impact. I do know that its impact was huge. I just wasn't on the wave. Now, Jared, I think the best way to describe it, you remember in The Office when Dwight is playing Second Life? That's kind of what Club Penguin was to people.
Club Penguin was special, man. I mean, rest in peace. Rest in peace to Club Penguin. When it shut down, I was heartbroken.
Are you worried about, like, that might be the oldest player in the league. You drafted him 3rd, 4th round.
No, I'm not too worried because he's going to be our Haslam. He's going to be the guy that keeps the other guys going. He's going to be the guy that keeps the other guys
Takes
going.
a roster spot from someone that can play.
and that's fine. And that's fine because we have culture. With Cash App on the wing, we're not worried about scoring points. We don't need Club Penguin to do that.
That's fair.
All right, power forward. Now, this is my best athlete. This is my Giannis, if you will. Very good wingspan. Really just going to fly down the lane, take off, dunk all over anybody who's standing down there. And I feel like they've really changed the travel game for me. So at my power forward, give me Southwest app.
Wow.
I use it a lot. It makes it easy. I'm A-list, so
Wow.
getting from the drop off to my gate takes about 4 minutes.
That's definitely a high flyer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of miles. A lot
Yeah.
of
Paint
miles
you
on
for
those
an
tires.
American guy, but that's
Okay, that don't
Southwest.
disrespect me like that.
Shout out to Southwest, man.
Solid.
American is probably the worst airline that there is.
No,
we should
Spirit.
have that
You never flown Spirit, is what you're
You
saying.
never flown.
No, I've
yeah.
flown Spirit. I'll take Spirit over American.
See,
Okay.
and this is in time and time
Dun,
again, you
dun,
prove
dun,
that you are a
dun,
sick
dun, dun,
individual.
dun. Do you guys hear that? Alex on the clock.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah. No, I like what you did there, Jay.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm gonna go in a similar facet, not a similar realm, but at my power forward, I want someone that's a really good slasher. Basically, I need them. They've slimmed down. They're a lot quicker than their opponent. So I need someone that can kind of impact on both sides of the court. And if you play fantasy football and you disagree with me on this point, then we have a problem. But the sleeper fantasy app over ESPN is just a monumental
I'm
upgrade.
hearing it's special. I'm hearing it's special.
That's so relevant for so
There
many
may or may not have
reasons,
been a
Alec.
motion. There may or may not have been a motion.
A formal motion might have been put into our league by someone on this chat. I don't know. To switch from the ESPN app to the Sleeper app. Now, if
Al,
that
are you
motion
guys
gets
doing
honored, I don't
Sleeper?
know.
Are you guys on Sleeper this year? Al?
Not in that league, but I'm in 7 leagues.
So I'm actually a Yahoo
Yeah,
guy.
dude, I
won't
told you he's
lie.
a sicko. I told you I wasn't kidding, Luke.
As a manager, man.
I have a problem, but the sleeper app makes my life a lot easier. I'll just say it's just so nice. I put out a 10-team trade the other day. 10 teams. I put out a 10-team trade. I was bored. I didn't expect anyone to accept it, but was it hilarious? Yeah, you can't do that on ESPN. No way. Yeah, we're taking sleeper at the 4 for sure.
Well said.
Al, you're hilarious, bro. You might be the funniest person alive.
I'm just saying.
He's like, I'm in 7 leagues.
So at my center, I need someone when stuff's coming to the basket, I want them to just swallow all that nonsense up.
Oh man, we're gonna let that fly.
We're gonna go with not an app,
Okay.
but we're gonna go with something that's all encompassing of what we're talking about here. I think we all have iPhones, right? So just give me Apple. Just give me the creators of the iPhone.
Yeah, great pick.
That's a great pick. Great pick. That's a nice take.
Special pick there.
That's your Akeem Olajuwon, huh?
Yeah, a do-it-all player.
Yeah, it's nice. Quadruple double right there. Al, I love that pick. At my center, Tommy mentioned them earlier. I think he just didn't really give them enough credit for what they really do in the space, and it's taken my life to new heights. So at the center, give me Venmo. Venmo. I
like it.
I love the emojis in the comments sections, and I love that I can request and I can pay and I can remind.
Mm.
Good pick.
Venmo.
Good pick.
It's
not knocking down shots like Cash App.
At KI Hoops, if you're feeling generous out there, listeners.
Whoa.
I mean, I'll drop my Zelle while we're at it.
What?
That's a special player too, man.
Zell's good. Zell made it to tryouts, but Cash App, I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
Zell doesn't have the foot
I'll
speed.
throw my 5 out. I'll throw my 5 out here. We've got an absolute communicator at the 5. All right. This guy's loud. He's going to anchor the defense. He's going to make sure that his point guard's not getting cracked by screens. He's going to wake everybody up, if you will. All right. Give me the Clock app. I'm using it daily.
Nice.
That's like Luke's weather pick. Like that's a good pick.
A good addition that's been paired with the Clock app is actually the sleep the sleep bar on my phone, where I can put my phone into sleep mode and my alarm automatically sets as soon as I do that. Just next level stuff, man. And that goes to Alec's pick. Shout out to Apple
Yeah.
for making all this happen. Give me the clock app at the 5. That's the Birdman to my Udonis Haslam down there.
Oh my God. Your team
We've
is
got a
looking very
ragtag.
rough.
We've got
I
a
was gonna
ragtag
say,
group of guys, man.
That's
But
crazy
we get
over
the
there.
job done.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I feel like this is
Let
the
me tell you.
2012 Celtics we're talking about right now.
No, this is more like the 2003
Got Big Baby
Pistons.
Davis and Nate
This is more
Robinson out
like
there.
this is more like the 2003-2004 Pistons,
They won a
Oh,
championship.
led by Tayshaun Prince and
I think he was
And
saying
Ben
Scott
Wallace.
Turco, Milicic
This
on
is
his
so
team.
crazy. Oh man, this is
the
crazy.
ragtag group of fellows, guys. What can I say?
Can't wait to see you coach them up. So my 5, I took a very, very, very eerily similar approach that Tommy did. My 5's a communicator. But we're in a world and in a game where, English Americans, that's the game is worldwide. I need my communicator to be able to function and talk all across the world. So give me WhatsApp. I think
Yeah.
That's a good call. Good call. Good call.
Look, I think WhatsApp. Unless you've really used WhatsApp for what it's used for, you might look at it and think like, I'm gonna just text. I got iMessage. I got Blue Messages.
Yeah. He just doesn't pass as well as iMessage. So,
But like I'm thinking long term. Like we got international players trying to come play for my team, and I need someone that can communicate with them and help pull them in. So give me WhatsApp at the 5.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
It's a good chemistry guy there.
Yeah, so my walk on, man. My walk on is something, and again, it kind of falls in that weather, that notes app, that clock app. It kind of the maps. It kind of falls in that category. Again, we're in a world that electronics technology is taking over. People don't carry their wallets around anymore. I want the wallet app. On my phone. Apple
That's
Pay
nice.
is up right now. People just love boom tapping the phone on there. You're good to go. Travel light. So I got the wallet app. And again, it's unless you truly utilize it. This is why I have it as the walk on. Unless you truly utilize it, I don't think you understand how powerful it can be. So
Yeah, agreed. It's a good
I like
pick.
that.
Good
like
pick.
that
Good
pick.
pick. Good pick.
You know,
What's the Ticonderoga saying over there?
we're looking at our draft board right here. Yeah, we're gonna go with this guy. This is a special one to me, man. I missed with Club Penguin with Alec and Luke. I hope I don't miss with this one, guys. I'm gonna keep it plain and simple. Give me old reliable. Give me coolmathgames.com. Give me coolmathgames.com.
Oh,
You
we can
slept?
totally see what your phone is used for. You sleep and you play games. This is
I've never
No,
even-
no,
I've
but
never
this isn't
even
an
heard
app.
of this.
This isn't an app.
you've never heard
This
of
isn't
Cool
a
Math
website.
Games?
This isn't a website I'm using anymore. This is another old head that we want to bring into the camp. They might be calling us the 2023 Warriors, if you will. We've got a lot of vets on the squad right now. That doesn't mean I don't believe.
You have a lot of
Doesn't mean I don't
unserious
believe.
individuals.
Yeah, it means you
Give
got
me Cool
Chris
Math
Paul
Games,
going on.
man. Cool Math Games just did it all for me in middle school. It did it all for me in middle school, and when I was bored in high school too. Pulled up to class,
Probably
play.
bored in college too.
Yeah, I can't say I've tapped into Cool Math yet in college. Got better things to do, but definitely high school. Definitely high school.
I'll say the thing about
That's how
Cool
I
Math
know.
that gave it the
So,
edge.
so you want to know? I got to say this. This is how I know Alex smart and went to Caltech because Alec definitely wasn't screwing around on coolmathgames.com
He
in
wasn't playing
biology
block
and
source.
chemistry class
Yeah.
while I was playing block soars
Yeah.
in my chemistry lab. Sorry, Mr. Hummel.
It's because Cool Math was like the only game website that wasn't blocked by all the like FCUSD stuff and all that because there's actual math applications on it. So that's why it flies. That was smart. That was smart play.
Thanks, man.
My walk on. This guy again, he's probably older than any of Tommy's players. But he really has one specific function, and for whatever reason, I never delete this app, and I always seem to find myself using it. I used it the other day. You're in a store, you're somewhere out in public, and there's just a song playing. You're like, man, This song's good. I like this song. I'm vibing. I need
That's
to figure out what
crazy.
song this is. Let me hit that Sound Hound.
Whoa.
Sound Hound. Yeah, not
Whoa, that was
not
a
what you
miss.
think.
That
Yeah,
was a miss.
Sound
That
Hound.
took a turn. Yeah, that sucks. Why are you not
Jared,
picking
I'm telling you
Shazam?
this right now.
No.
Nobody is voting for that.
That's
Yeah, dude.
fine. I don't
Just
care.
throw down
I'm
Shazam
gonna
for him, Luke. Just throw down Shazam for him.
I'm getting Soundhound their flowers because it has a better, and this is for Al, a better algorithm than Shazam and tracks songs and lyrics better. And then it stores them in a history part of the actual app.
That's big.
Which does Shazam do that? No.
Yeah, but once
Shout
you
out
look
to
up a song
Soundhound,
and you
man.
add it to your
Shout out
library,
to
then you don't need
Soundhound. There we go,
Soundhound to track
TB.
it.
Shout out Soundhound. I'm giving them their flowers. That's my walk on.
Good for
They deserve
Soundhound,
it.
man.
Look,
It's probably
maybe
the
we can get a
it's probably the most
Soundhound.
they've been talked about in the last 10 years. So good for
Right.
Soundhound.
Maybe
Let's-
15.
Maybe we can get a Soundhound sponsorship off of this one.
I don't
Hey,
know
man,
that they're
we would
giving
only
those out.
we would only be so lucky.
Don't know that
Soundhound.
they're giving those out.
I just downloaded. Go ahead and talk to our people over at Walk On Pod Management. And we'll get you set up. But
Yeah, Luke in management. Yeah, go talk to him. Wow.
may or may not be my email. I don't know.
Well, guys, last pick of the draft here. Thinking about it, you guys probably should have taken this one. Really close, near and dear to my heart. Started working there about 2 weeks ago. But give me the Whatnot app because it's sick. And as soon as I started working there, I'm on it constantly. If you don't know what it is, it's a marketplace with live stream selling shows. So a lot of collectibles, sports cards. There's women's fashion. You can get sneakers. If you're into Legos, those are popular. All sorts of collectible stuff, but they'll have like.
Speaking of sponsorships, Al,
Yeah.
is this a pitch? Like, are you pitching us right now?
Oh.
Because if so, we're saying yes.
I don't think I have any muscle in that department.
Put your people in touch with our people.
Yeah.
So this episode's sponsored by the Whatnot app and our good friends over at Soundhound. Thank you for listening in, guys.
That's money right there. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
that was good. I'll take that.
Good take though. Good take though.
Yeah, that's a great take. I love it.
I'm aware of the Whatnot app.
Yeah,
it's a good app. It's a good app.
There we go. I hope I can make it better in these coming weeks and months as I'm ramping up.
Al, we talked about Tori earlier. Tori was a great golfer. She had offers, for people that don't know, college offers to golf.
Still
She was
better than
nice. Yeah.
So when you say she had offers for golf, what do you think people like? You didn't have to specify college offers. I feel like I feel like most of us.
My bad. Well, she could have offer playing the LPGA. I don't know.
Get the LPGA invite is what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My fault.
Yeah, the colleges were calling.
There you go.
Tor had greater things to do. Al, I know you've been dabbling a little bit, but I just want to give you some advice.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk about them. They didn't end up in my 5. They were right there, but I felt like I could mention them here. So Golf Now can get me a tee time.
Really?
But it can't get me any birdies. So I'm going to stay grinding with my 50 chips a night to make sure I don't end up on a Zaire golf fight.
Wow.
What did he just say?
And that's Jared Allen Poe.
That was impressive.
With the poetry.
How long did it take him to write that? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, I always.
You never know.
Clearly, Alec hasn't seen the Nay episode yet. I'm gonna drop that.
What those bars came straight to me.
I'm gonna drop that link for you, Alec.
From God
so you can
himself.
listen to that.
Appreciate
or
that.
herself, apparently.
You guys are crazy. One of these days, I'm gonna have to put together a montage of all Jared's rhymes.
Would love that. I would.
It's gonna be quite the
that.
project, but
yeah, it's gonna take you a while.
But that might be a 2-year special or something.
Yeah, or episode 100 special.
Yeah, episode 100 special would be a good one.
We'll see.
Thanks, Al. We appreciate you, man.
Al, appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Tuck team for life, man.
Yeah.
Never stop.
Quite a comedic episode, if you ask me. I'm definitely a fan of what was brought to the table here. So we wish you the best of luck on your endeavors with the Whatnot app. And
yeah,
coaching.
Whatnot. Hit us up.
If there's if there's anything we know you do, it's help everybody around you and win and succeed. So we know great things are on the way, brother. So appreciate you coming on, man.
Yep,
As
appreciate it.
always, favorite walk-ons. We're walking out.